Welcome to your Full Circle Friday. My name is Sara, a certified trauma recovery coach with Full Circle Wellspring. Trauma causes a disruption in our neural pathways and can halt survivors from staying connected to themselves, others, and the world around them. They can abandon or exile parts of themselves behind a wall of shame and fear. These episodes are dedicated toward understanding trauma and learning about outside resources, adjunctive services, recommendations, techniques, coping skills, and more to support and encourage the survivor on their journey back to their authentic selves. Let's get started. Today's topic is origins. There is power in tracing the origins of your trauma. Be forewarned that it can be a slightly jarring or triggering process as well. The usefulness of understanding your trauma's historical path is to bring some peace to your soul and forgiveness to your authentic self. The actual true origins may not be completely uncovered, so I find healing is in the pursuit of the origins and what you can uncover simply by taking some time to trace and explore the roots. For some, this episode might not resonate. For instance, if you were suddenly attacked by an unknown assailant, you may not even know your abuser's name, let alone their heritage of abuse. Perhaps if your trauma has something to do with many bullies in school growing up, you may not be able to learn their true familial history of bullying, or what it was that was paining them so much that they took the liberty to harass you. If that's the case for you, that's okay. I'm really sharing this for people who have suffered under the generational trauma of their family's abuse or neglect. Victims begat victims. Hurt people hurt people. We've all heard those phrases. Taking a deep dive into the roots of your generation's past can be a real eye-opener, not just in healing your own past, but for really making solid growth that will affect your future generations. So how do we do this tracing? We have a few interesting ways. The most powerful way I found is constructing a genogram. A genogram is more than a family tree. It is a display of the family's interpersonal relationships, medical history, hereditary patterns of abuse, and other factors that may have truncated relationships. This is a way to trace types of abuse between family members of the tree, addictions, divorces, loss of contact of various members, death ages, and more. The genogram serves to explain interactions between its members. This visual representation of one's family can be quite telling, as you often can trace back trauma, abuse, and patterns of addiction for many generations. The power to be able to see this displayed in front of you allows a softening to see what all those other members have gone through along with you as the main trauma survivor. Each branch that is broken because of infidelity, divorce, abuse, or addiction, these are all telling of the factors that put you in the place that you have found yourself today. This is what I meant though when I said you can't often actually find the true origin per se. Eventually you know less and less about the genealogy many generations removed. So if your great-grandfather abused your grandfather, abused your mother, abused you, the question is, who then abused your great-grandfather? We found a pattern, but not an original source. And that's okay, because in the finding of a pattern, much is explained and explored. There are a few great online tools to help you construct a genogram. You can also do this with the help of your therapist or coach. Understanding that this can be a very emotionally taxing activity, please make sure you are well supported as you do this. Another quick mention that I'll leave you to explore on your own is Dr. Murray Bowen's family systems theory. This is a solar system type construction of one's emotional cohesion between family members, for good or for bad. From there, you can apply each member's roles. Lastly, another exploration would lead you to define those roles within the relationship using Dr. David Olson's family circumplex model. These are great additional investigations and discoveries after you've been able to create and digest the findings from the genogram. As always, if you would like help tracing some of the origins of your family's trauma history, or if you have questions about this episode, please reach out so that I can help you find the best resources for your situation. I would love to support you as you inspect your generational trauma history as a means for your personal growth and trauma recovery in breaking cycles of abuse and dysfunction. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Trauma Survivorhood. This has been written and created by your host, Sara, a trauma recovery coach. For more info about me, trauma recovery resources, or to check out our support groups, classes, free survivor circles, private coaching, and more, visit www.fullcirclewellspring.com. Schedule a complimentary 20-minute discovery call to see if coaching is right for you. For the latest info on schedules and updates, follow us on Facebook at Full Circle Wellspring. All other media, social links, blogs, and show notes are posted in the episode guide below. Until next time, be well, survivors.